Hi kids, it's Tanya McCartney and I'm back with a bit more fauna for you. Hope you've been enjoying this peek inside the book. There are lots of different animals inside fauna, and here is a little peek at the contents page so you can see exactly what's inside. So we start with koala, and then we go through crocodile and lyrebird, platypus, cassowary, all the way down to marsupials, the dugong, thorny devil, and also a page on extinction, which I hope to share with you a bit later because it's really, really fascinating. But today I thought we might look at, I'm thinking yellow would be good, so let's do the flying fox. This animal might really surprise you as it did me. It's quite a fascinating animal. And yeah, it's just, it's one of the most prolific animals on Earth, the bat. And this is just one species of bat of many, many, many thousands. So how about we learn a bit more about the flying fox? The flying fox is a flighty mammal. A whopping 1/4 of all mammal species on Earth are bats. Isn't that incredible? In Australia, there are over 90 species and two types, mega and micro. What do you think mega might be? Huge, right? Micro might be tiny. So they're little and they're big. Mega bats are larger and feed on fruit, nectar, and pollen. And flying foxes actually belong to this group. They're also known as fruit bats. We have fruit bats in our house. They're my two children. The four mainland species of flying fox are spectacled, black, grey-headed, and little red. I'm going to show you a picture of that now. Can you see them there? Yeah, they are. So let's learn a little bit more about each one. And of course, they're upside down. They're hanging in the belfry. So the grey-headed has dark grey fur. It has a red collar and a light grey head. The largest bat in Australia and one of the biggest in the world. It has a body length of up to 29 centimetres. So again, get your ruler out and it's about as long as a ruler. The black flying fox has short black fur with reddish brown mantle. The mantle is like around the shoulders, from the back of the head down to the shoulders. It weighs up to 710 grams, which is, just short of a kilo. It also lives in parts of Papua New Guinea and Indonesia, and there are 4 subspecies. So, of course, we've got species, and a subspecies means species within that species. So there's 4 within that species. Sub meaning underneath, right? Spectacled flying fox. It has brown fur with light yellow on the shoulders, neck, back and face. Its body length is up to 25 centimetres and it lives in far north Queensland and PNG and adjoining islands. And then lastly, the little red. It has brownish red fur with a red collar. It is the smallest flying fox on mainland Australia, and it has the largest range of all species. And what we mean by range is that it's found in the most places. And you can see here at the bottom of the page, let me get up so you can see properly. You can see the range here for the little red is a lot broader, a lot wider ranging than the other species. See there? So you can see the black is mostly up in the northern part of Australia, so it must love the warmer weather. The grey is limited to these parts down here of eastern Australia, a little bit in Queensland. And the spectacled, goodness, there is not much at all of the spectacled, is there? The tiny little pockets up here in Queensland. So the little red has the highest range. It's found in the most places around the country. All right, so let's have a look at the construction of this incredible creature. All right, so the flying fox. This is actually a picture of a grey-headed flying fox, and he's very similar to the others. He has the same sort of physiology, so let's check it out. So this one has a body weight of only 1 kilo, including his wings. So they're really light, aren't they? They have to be light to be able to fly well. It actually has a brain similar to that of a primate or a monkey, showing it may have come from monkeys. It has great eyesight, and of course that's even better at night. The wings are made of 2 thin layers of strong elastic skin, and they stretch from the arm to the ankle. So you can see here it's hooked to what you would call the wrist and stretches all the way to the ankle here. The grey-headed flying fox is the only of its species to have fur all the way to its ankles, so it's quite fluffy. All flying foxes have very light bones and muscles to keep them buoyant. What else? Oh yes, so flying foxes can fly at up to 40 kilometres an hour. So next time you're in the car and you're going past a school, you will be going 40 kilometres an hour, because that's how slow you need to go near schools. So you can actually picture, as you're going along in the car, you can picture those flying foxes flying next to you, and it's actually quite fast, even though it doesn't feel so in a car. And they can use wind drafts as well. So not only are they capable of powered flight, and in fact they're the only mammal capable of true powered flight. There are mammals that can glide, like the sugar glider, but bats are the only mammal that can actually take off and flap their wings and fly. What's this one over here? So during the day, flying foxes roost together in treetops. You might have some flying foxes roosting in the trees around where you live, or around your school. They can get very noisy. So they roost together in treetops and sleep hanging by 1 foot. See, I didn't know that when I first started researching these creatures. 1 foot, wow, it's pretty tricky. And they wrap their wings around their bodies when they sleep. They spend many hours each day grooming, licking their wings, chattering and fanning themselves, and they flap their wings to cool down. And this is really gross. They actually cool down wash themselves by peeing on themselves, which is kind of bizarre, isn't it? To pee on yourself. That wouldn't get you very clean, would it? Okay, what else? Oh, a group of flying foxes is called a colony. Oh, and this grey-headed flying fox has a wingspan of up to 1 metre. Isn't that incredible? Considering that their bodies are only the size of the length of a ruler, they must have massive wings to reach out to a full metre. It's just incredible. All right, over the last 30 years, around 95% of the grey-headed and the spectacled flying foxes, so grey-headed and spectacled, have disappeared, 95%, and they may be fully extinct by 2050. Many flying foxes are shot to keep them from fruit trees, even though there are other ways to stop them eating fruit. That's just really tragic, and we need to be doing something about that, don't we? So learning about animals is a great way to understand them better and to do better with them. So next time you're talking to adults, tell them how precious these animals are. Let's look at what flying foxes eat. Chow time. Flying foxes feed at night, and many of their favourite plants have white flowers, making them easier to see. So you can imagine in the dark, a white flower on a tree would be much easier to see in the dark, wouldn't it? The moon shining on it. They love the fruit, flowers, nectar and pollen of native trees, and pollen is a major source of protein. And you can see here some of their favourite trees: the paperbark flower, of course the eucalyptus flower, the lily-pilly fruit as well. Surviving on mostly a liquid diet, they chew leaves and fruit to extract the juice and seeds. Flying foxes are an important part of the ecosystem, as they are able to spread pollen and seeds over hundreds of kilometres. So when they fossick about, nibbling on these blossoms and fruits and leaves, they first ingest the seeds, and then as they're flying they poop it out and help sow the seeds of the plants elsewhere. But also they help pollinate, don't they? Because the pollen gets on their fur and then they go and land somewhere else, and that helps pollinate the next plant. And the great thing about flying foxes is that they're able to fly really long distances, so this helps the plants establish themselves further afield, doesn't it? So they're able to spread pollen over hundreds of kilometres and not just locally. They use their excellent sense of smell to locate nectar and ripe fruit, and thanks to great night vision, they don't need to echolocate. Now, you know what echolocating is when they make sounds and it bounces off things in order to let the bat know where it's going. So it basically relies on sound so it doesn't run into something. whereas fruit bats don't need to do that. To drink, they lick the dew from leaves or swoop over waterways. So they come down low over a creek or a river, and the water splashes onto their belly, and then they lick the water off their belly fur. Bats in the belfry. Flying foxes are social animals. They chirp and squabble and use mating and warning calls. They live in groups and come together in even larger groups to mate. Males have a scent gland on their shoulders that is rubbed onto branches to mark territory. And one male guards several females and young. All right, and lastly, let's talk about the babies. We love the babies. Flying foxes give birth to just one baby, which is born furry with open eyes. This baby suckles on one of two teats located under mum's wings, holding onto the teeth with two milk teeth, and these milk teeth help them hold on to the teat just in case mum takes off and they don't get left behind, they can hang on. During the day, the female shields her baby with her wings. Isn't that adorable? At night, she soars through the air in search of food with the baby on her back. And when they're bigger, babies are left in a kind of a daycare with other flying foxes and are able to fly on their own at just 3 months old. Beautiful, beautiful animals. Okay. Wasn't that fun? Love learning about Australia's unique and beautiful animals. We're so lucky to have such an incredible variety of unusual and special animals in this country. Next time I might cover extinction and what animals are actually considered vulnerable or even near extinct or recently extinct in Australia. And I'll try not to cry because it can get very sad. But it's a fascinating thing, and we can even have a look at the dinosaurs, Australia's dinosaurs, because we have a small handful that have been found and we can explore them more. All right, hope you're keeping well. Keep reading, and then when you finish reading, read a little bit more. And I'll see you again soon. See ya. Bye.